Chapter 71. 71 The Villagers Look. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 71 The Villagers Look. If the chiefs and land officers could help her realize the wish, that would be great. Soon, Yang Liang and Ms. Tian came over. Yang Liang's face sank as he glared at Yang Xiaoni. This damned girl had reported them to third Grandpa Yang. What a heartless girl. Ms. Tian cursed Yang Xiaoni fiercely. You bitch, what are you being so crazy for? I feed you and give you a place to live, but you are not satisfied with it and come to report your brother and sister in law to the public. How dare you? Hearing that she was turning the truth upside down, the chiefs and land officer as well as the villagers were disgusted and irritated. Ms. Tian, what are you talking about? Shame on you. You aren't afraid of being punished by heaven. The land officer said coldly, Ms. Tian, we have rules in our village. You are the Yang family's daughter in law, and you should not ruin your family's name. Your in-laws are dead, and Xiaoni has been working so devotedly for years. How can you treat her like this? Yang Liang, how dare you bully your sister like this? Aren't you afraid that your deceased parents would turn into ghosts and come to you at night? Yang Liang cringed and stood in the corner, showing a little fear. Ms. Tian shouted. Land officer, you should not wrong me. This bitch. Xiaoni has grown up and she can't just live under our roof without doing anything, right? Every girl in the village works. You don't know that this girl is really lazy and tricky. She is greedy and craves food all the time. If we don't urge her to work, she won't even move an inch. I have to teach her as a sister in law all the time. I am teaching her a lesson, not bullying her. Who says that I am bullying her? Come and show me the proof. You. The land officer was very annoyed. The villagers exchanged a helpless look among themselves and could not say a thing. It was a family affair that could not be explained clearly. No one could stand up and show the proof. How could there be a proof for something like this? Ms. Tian showed a look of pride and snorted. Bitch, what are you staying here for? You should remember which family you are living under. She meant to tell her that she was living under her roof. Yang Xiaoni was sobbing as she grabbed third Grandma Yang's arms. No, I am not going back. She is going to kill me. Shut up, that is enough, what are you talking about? Yang Liang was annoyed too as he snapped at her in a fierce voice. This bitch should not have spread bad things about the family to outsiders. You two treat her like this in front of us. How can we trust that you treat her well behind our back? Third Grandma Yang said annoyedly, I watched Xiaoni growing up and she is a really good girl. How can you think that you are reasonable, when you lecture her and order to do this and that all the time? Ms. Tian, don't think so highly of yourself. Just because no one can prove it doesn't necessarily mean that you have done nothing. You know pretty well what you have done. Everyone can see that you have done something bad. Watch out for repayment. Okay, now, I am going to ask you what you are going to do with Xiaoni's marriage. Ms. Tian was feeling so annoyed and cursed this old grandma for being nosy. She snorted. That is our business. This is the Yang's family and when your parents were alive, they respected me enough. Xiaoni calls me third grandma, so I have the right to ask you about it. Ms. Tian was about to say something when third Grandma Yang said coldly, Ang Liang, you are the master of the family. Are you going to keep Xiaoni until she gets too old to marry someone? Are you sure this is the right thing to show respect to your parents? Chapter 72. 72 Irritation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 72 Irritation. Yang Liang forced out a word. Of course not. Then, just make a decision about her marriage. Yang Liang was staggering. We are trying to find a suitor for her, aren't we? Oh, yes. Third Grandma Yang sneered. Xiao Dukuan's family offers you 20 liang but you still don't think that is enough. What kind of family do you plan to find? Ms. Tian said, the Xiao family is so rich. If they want to set up the marriage, they need to offer more than 20 liang. They are looking down at us. We can't marry her to the Xiao family. So, you find someone better. The land officer said, the Xiao family has a lot of money but the money is at their disposal. 20 liang is well over the standard for a village wedding. Ms. Tian immediately responded. We are seeking a good suitor for her all the time. Nonsense. Third Grandma Yang was terribly annoyed by the shameless words spoken by Ms. Tian. Ms. Fang and Xiao Xian had gone to their home for help. Moreover, Ms. Fang gave her the money which was enough for buying at least 300 kilograms of rice. That pleased her a great deal. Ms. Fang had even suggested that she was going to offer more money if the marriage worked out well. Third Grandma Yang had naturally agreed to help. She felt sorry for Yang Xiaoni, but she was not part of the family so she could not say something rashly. Also, Ms. Tian was a very fierce woman and no one would dare to irritate her for no reason. But things were different at the moment. Yang Xiaoni came to ask her for help in tears, and she, as the elderly woman in the village, could not just push away the girl under such circumstances. That was why she decided to get involved. Ms. Tian had managed to irritate the whole village, and this was the best time to do something about it. Third Grandma Yang said coldly, I will tell you this today, Xiaoni is a poor girl and she is asking me for help, so I will not leave her alone. If you are not satisfied by the Xiao family's proposal, you need to find someone better than the Xiao family quickly. Xiaoni is no longer young and she can't wait. You have to settle this marriage for her within 1 month. Yang Liang, you better bear in mind that Yang Xiaoni is your sister. Ms. Tian, we can't allow this thing to spread outside our village. If you continue to cause trouble, you better go to the ancestral hall and get your mind cleared. The other chiefs nodded in agreement. Everyone was looking at Ms. Tian with disgust. The reputation of the Yang family could not be ruined because of this woman. Ms. Tian was very annoyed as she glared back at Yang Xiaoni. We are a poor family and we have no parents who defend us. You all are bullying me and we have nowhere to express ourselves. Third Grandma Yang got so annoyed that she glared at Ms. Tian. This woman was very tricky and annoying. What she said could just make anyone hearing her words get irritated. Third Grandma Yang got very annoyed. She was a respected elderly woman who had never been countered by anybody younger like this. She would not allow this woman to oppose her publicly. If she retreated now, she would be humiliated as well. So, Third Grandma Yang stuck to her suggestion and the land officer, as well as the chiefs, all took her side and held a grudge against Ms. Tian. No matter how Ms. Tian tried to turn the truth upside down, Yang Xiaoni's marriage would most likely be settled in the way as Third Grandma Yang had suggested. It had to be settled in 1 month's time. If they did not like the Xiao family, the couple needed to find someone who exceeded the Xiao family in some way. Chapter 73. 73 Dumb. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 73 Dumb. Since she kept saying that they were doing this for Yang Xiaoni's sake, then alright, do it for her. Yang Xiaoni did not want to go home with her brother and sister. In law. Third Grandma, Land Officer, and Chief Grandpas, could I just stay at the ancestral hall? I can do all kinds of work. Third Grandma, I can work for you, but please just give me some food. I don't eat much, really not. Yang Xiaoni cried so badly as she did not let go of Third Grandma Yang's arms. Everyone felt sorry for her but could not say a thing. The ancestral hall was very sinister, with no one living there and nothing except for the ancestral tablets. Only those who made big mistakes would be ordered to live there. Otherwise, no one else would do so willingly. This girl must have got so frightened that she could not think clearly. If this couple had any conscience, this girl would not have made such a request. Both Yang Liang and Ms. Tian were furious. What are you doing? Just follow us home quietly. Why are you going to the ancestral hall when you have a home? Yang Liang's veins were almost popping out on his forehead. This ungrateful girl. Ms. Tian sneered. This damned girl is thinking about doing no work. Don't listen to her nonsense. Yang Liang got even more furious. He tugged at Yang Xiaoni and said, just shut up and come home with us. Yang Xiaoni cried loudly. Please, save me, third Grandma Yang, please. No one should live in the ancestral hall for no reason. Third Grandma Yang sighed and said, it is okay, Xiaoni, just go home. If anyone hits you or lectures you, just come to me and I will seek justice for you. We are a family and we should not allow anyone to preach or hit people. We will teach her a lesson, if she dares to do so. We need to make sure that the whole clan is clean and has a good reputation. The other aunts also came to console Yang Xiaoni, who was still crying out of fear. All the bystanders felt very sorry. What a pity. She was a nice girl, but with such a couple as the brother and sister. In law, she was going to suffer a great deal. In the end, third Grandma Yang asked Yang Xiaoni to stay at her place overnight and leave the next day. Yang Liang and Ms. Tian glared at Yang Xiaoni and left. The bystanders all sighed, shook their heads and also left. Back at home, Ms. Tian kept hitting Yang Liang whilst cursing him. Yang Liang felt so annoyed that he started to dislike Yang Xiaoni as well. She was just asked to do some labor work. What was she being so stingy for? Her brother and sister. In law were supporting her. In return, she did not even want to help with some work. Worse, she even got her brother and sister. In law humiliated in front of the whole village. Daughters always turned their elbows out against their own family. Ms. Fang learned of what happened at the Yang family the following day. She told Xiao Xian about this, but she also felt quite worried. Xiao Xian consoled her. Don't worry, Mom. Yang Xiaoni seems to be quite clever, and she won't lose much. Ms. Tian won't dare to kill her anyway, right? Mom, what about reminding third brother that he should not meet Yang Xiaoni privately for some time? What if they were caught? That would be very bad. Ms. Fang agreed and told Xiao Sanlang about this. Xiao Sanlang was very anxious. He was afraid that Yang Xiaoni would face trouble. But he did not dare to do a thing, especially since his mother warned him not to be impulsive. Xiao Xian's land was finally ready. There was no brick wall around the patch, but bamboos were set up around the perimeter. Behind that, all the iron fences dug from the mountains were put up and wild roses, which could climb along the wall, were planted as well. Chapter 74 74 Xiao Xian Smile. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 74 Xiao Xian Smile. Xiao Xian had transplanted all those plants from mountains and later, she was going to use her superpower so they could grow beautifully. When Xiao Dalong was helping with the fence, Xiao Xian and Xiao Yunduan were getting ready to buy some flowers in the city. Xiao Xian smiled. Actually, Qi and Tao Tao would be enough to come along with me. This visit might waste your study time. I don't want Mom and Dad to blame me. Xiao Yunduan said, it is fine, I also need to walk around a little. She was his wife, at least in name, and it was normal that he kept her company on her trip. The Qiao family did not treat her well. What if they ran into the Qiao family and she was bullied by them? What would Qi and Tao Tao be able to do about it? Xiao Xian smiled and accepted the offer. There was only one flower store in the city, and offered just a few kinds of flowers. Xiao Xian bought all the flowers including pomegranates, jasmines, gardenias, cloves, Chinese roses, ordinary roses, sweet-scented osmanthus, white orchids. The bullock cart was filled with them. The florist was very happy and even gave her some rebate. All those flowers were very commonly seen varieties, and the whole thing cost her only 3.2 liang. The flowers were unloaded and Xiao Xiaoqi, as well as Xiao Taotao came over to help carry the flowers under Qiao Xian's instruction. Ms. Su, who had been working on the fences, joined them too. Ms. Su was smiling happily. She had been very motivated to work recently. She got up when dawn broke and had even taken over all the housework, including washing clothes and dishes, even feeding the pigs before coming to the land to help. The land work wasn't an easy job, so Qiao Xian gave them a raise, making it 30 a day. Qiao Xian got a pair of scissors, and she cut away many twigs of those flowers and planted them into the earth directly. It looked quite easy. Ms. Su could not help but say, "Fifth sister. Law, I know how to plant Chinese roses. Would this make it grow properly?" Qiao Xian nodded with a smile. Yes. They are just ordinary plants, and this method surely would work. The budding would happen very soon, within a few days. Oh yes. Ms. Su was a bit suspicious but did not think that her fifth sister. Law would lie to her. She smiled. "Are you going to sell those flowers, but how?" Qiao Xian blinked and smiled. "Well, I will keep it a secret for now. You will know when the time comes. In fact, I might need your help too then." Ms. Su understood that when Qiao Xian asked for help, she always paid, so she smiled and said, "No problem, just tell me what to do and I guarantee that you will be satisfied with my work." Qiao Xian nodded with a smile. "Thank you in advance, elder sister. Law that when the fences were ready, the plants were all growing well, especially Chinese roses and ordinary roses, which grew very fast at this time of the year." Qiao Xian used a bit of her superpower, and no one found the growth strange either. But the volume needed was far beyond anticipation. Qiao Xian told the village that she was collecting Chinese roses and ordinary roses as well as some other flowers and would pay between 1 to 21 for one branch. The whole village was excited. What is the fifth daughter. Law of Xiao Dakuan's family doing? Flowers don't make money. Chapter 75. 75 Unreliable. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 75 Unreliable. The daughter of a rich family is just too unreliable. She is just burning money because she is rich. See. I knew that the Xiao family could not do anything about her. It is such bad luck that they have a daughter. Law like this. It is not bad luck. She is wasting her own money, and the Xiao family are taking advantage of her money as well. That is true. Anyway, I am going to the mountain for a walk. Me too. The villagers all went into the mountains suddenly. There were many wild flowers and grass everywhere in the mountains, especially ordinary roses and gardenias which were really easy to find. Those flowers, which were ignored in the past, were flourishing in front of her. Due to what happened with Yang Xiaoni, Qiao Xian was really favored by Ms. Fang, who would not say a thing about what she wanted to do. Ms. Fang was open-minded. She was spending her own money and had her own ideas about what to do. She, as the mother. Law, should not get too worried. Nor would anyone else in the Xiao family say anything about it. But eldest uncle did not like it. He said involuntarily, "Miss Qiao, the land is open now. You can plant some peanuts, beans, taros and sweet potatoes, which may help with some income. What are you planting flowers for? They are just good looking and not at all practical. It is such a waste." Qiao Xian smiled and explained. "Dad, I am going to keep some bees, and the flowers are for them. They don't ruin the land." Bees. Eldest uncle was startled and found the whole thing even more unreliable. Bees are not easy to keep, just drop the idea, there are flowers everywhere in the mountains, and the bees can go anywhere they want, why would they come here? Qiao Xian smiled. "My flowers are better and can offer more honey." Eldest uncle, he shook his head dejectedly and sighed. She was just so unreasonable. This daughter. Law of his was so arrogant and never listened to the elderly's words. How annoying. He went to Miss Fong and asked her to persuade her. Miss Fong blamed him for being too nosy. She believed that it was not necessary to intervene in the matter. Eldest uncle got so annoyed. He just did not like Xiao Xian at all. But there was nothing he could do. Second uncle and third uncle both came over in anger. Both of them snapped at Xiao Xian for being unreliable and not fulfilling her promise. They saw that Xiao Dali and the other three were still working. Xiao Xian had forgotten about her promise of hiring them. Why don't you let us do this easy work? You are paying outsiders, and not thinking about us. True, brother, that is so unreasonable. Xiao Xian sneered inwardly, letting you work. That was like paying people in vain. Xiao Dali and those who were working for her were completely devoted to the task. They were not dragging their feet, and that was why Xiao Xian had raised their salary. If the second and the third sections of the family were to do the work, the task might not even be finished in 3 days. They were all full of tricks, and she had seen through them how they tried to cheat the first section of the family again and again. Before Xiao Xian was able to speak, Xiao Yunduan walked out of the room and said, "Second uncle, third uncle, brother Dali are already very familiar with what they are doing right now. We can't just fire them halfway. We can talk about this next time." Second uncle got furious. "What are you talking about? You are just making up excuses all the time." Chapter 76. 76 Xiao Xian's confirmation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 76 Xiao Xian's confirmation. Xiao Yunduan shrugged his arms. "Well, there is nothing I can do about it." Second uncle and third uncle got very annoyed. "Brother, what do you think of this? What do you want my dad to do about it?" Xiao Yunduan said coldly, "We are all from the Xiao family, and brother Dali is not outside the family either. You are trying to make us offend our family members." Eldest uncle opened his mouth and closed it. "What about this, Miss Qiao? You can ask second uncle and third uncle to offer some help tomorrow too. They are elderly people of the family and you should pay them well." Xiao Xian said, "Oh, but I don't have any money right now. If our uncles want to offer help, they will only get paid when I have money." Normally, that basically meant that she was not going to give them any money. Second uncle and third uncle got very annoyed. They immediately turned down the idea. Xiao Xian spoke up again. "I just don't have any money right now." She had no money and the uncles should not possibly force her to offer money, right? Xiao Yunduan was standing next to them, and as a cultivated talent, second uncle and third uncle did not dare to counter Xiao Yunduan. So, they kept making complaints to eldest uncle instead. But Xiao Xian did not care. If her father-in-law was lectured by his two brothers, it was not her fault. She was not that kind as to stop them. After all, it was her father-in-law who was willing to get blamed because of his kindness. There was no other way they could do it and get away with it if not for his willingness. Ms. Fong could not stand it any longer. She came over and drove away second uncle and third uncle, who left in a fury. Eldest uncle was so annoyed. "Yunduan, you are a learned man, and you should understand that we need to have a harmonious family. How could you have said something like that to our family members?" Xiao Xian, she just ignored this blame, because it was not pointed at her. She was not going to make a connection. Xiao Yunduan said, "Family members should understand each other and know how they should love their family. Second uncle and third uncle are just confused at the moment and soon they will understand what is going on." Eldest uncle, Xiao Xian almost burst out into laughter. Second uncle and third uncle got so annoyed that together with their wives, they went around the village and spread the rumor that Xiao Xian was not treating her family well. Everyone knew what the second and the third section of the Xiao family were like, so they all laughed away the rumor. Some who were jealous of the first section of the Xiao family added some fuel to fire, but those who sold things earlier did not say anything more after being countered by Xiao Xian a while ago. Xiao Xian had bought wood from them and paid them. Xiao Xian had even told them that she was going to offer a lot of chances for more money. Making. So, they were not going to earn her money and gossip about her at the same time. Xiao Dali and his wife as well as the cousin's family were all on Xiao Xian's side. They were so used to the work and Xiao Xian continued to hire them. It was so much less painstaking. They were not outsiders, and how could hiring them be something that was not reasonable? Xiao Xian had a regular schedule of buying wood every evening, and those who wanted to sell would meet her at the determined site. When the box that was booked before was delivered to them, she put the 30 boxes up in the predetermined place. After that, she went into the mountain with Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Tao Tao to find the honeycomb. Flowers and bees were not only for the honey. The most important part was that she was going to get bee wax, pomegranate flowers and rosebush, to make lipsticks from those red flower juices and essential oils. Chapter 77. 77 One step after another. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 77 One step after another. She had already given advance to the carpenters to make the molds and porcelain tubes for lipsticks. She just needed the original materials to be put in. When the work at the land was finished, she was going to get the bee wax, and when the tubes and molds were completed, she could start her attempts to make those things. Lipsticks were attractive to most women, even in the modern time. She firmly believed that after she managed to make the lipsticks here, she was going to get a constant stream of money for herself. The blushers sold at the market were not at all convenient, and they dried easily. Moreover, the colors did not blend well. Lipsticks in tubes were always going to be more convenient and would have better quality. Apart from lipsticks, she was going to extract oil for perfume as well. She had the superpower and she could be quite sensitive about the smell and tastes. So, the whole process should be smooth enough for her. Well, she was a rural wife and she was not going to expose the plan to outsiders. She needed to make a good plan about it. When the lipsticks business kicked off, she was going to plant mushrooms to make medical herbs. She was going to take one step after another and not rush into anything. Most importantly, she had to be in charge of everything. Xiao Xian turned down Xiao Yunduan's request to keep her company to find honeycombs in the mountains. Just study at home. It is not an easy matter to finish within a few days. Dad and Mom would blame me if you spend so much time with me. I have made so much effort just to please Mom, you know. Anyways, Qi and Tao Tao are fairly familiar with the mountains, and with them around, I won't miss a thing. Xiao Yunduan could not counter her. Since he had decided to be well prepared for the examination, he was going to earn a good rank, and for that, he needed to work hard. So, he should not spend so much time with her in the mountains every day. Be Noel dem, but can you just not go into the mountains? Xiao Xian smiled. Only I know what to do about the honeycombs. Xiao Yunduan said, where did you learn all of this? Xiao Xian chuckled. Maybe it is natural talent. I am interested in these and I pick up knowledge by reading. Her father's biggest function was to serve as the shield for her. She could just claim that whatever she was good at, was learned from her father. Xiao Yunduan would never be able to prove otherwise. He was not going to do anything to prove that either. But what she had not expected was that when Xiao Yunduan heard what she said, he started to imagine a scene where he saw a skinny, poor girl who was left alone in the study and read lots of strange books. Xiao Yunduan could not rip her off from the hobby which she had been interested in since childhood. He nodded hesitantly. Just come back early, and don't go too deep into the mountains. Qi knows the mountains well. You should always ask him for directions. Watch out for the ground, it is so hot nowadays and there are bugs everywhere. Xiao Xian nodded with a smile. Xiao Yunduan was still not assured. He turned to Xiao Xiaoqi and asked Xiao Xiaoqi to take care of her. Xiao Xiaoqi said with a smile. Don't worry, fifth brother, I will definitely keep fifth sister in law safe and not lead her to the dangerous spots. Then, the three of them went into the mountains. With the help of her superpower, Xiao Xian soon found the honeycomb. Then, she used the bee box to lead the bees to move in. Due to Xiao Xian's superpower, the bees were very willing to get close to her. They were not afraid of her, and the work was completed much more easily than she had anticipated. Chapter 78. 78 Paid Work. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 78 Paid work. Apart from honeycomb, Xiao Xian also harvested some wild honey as well as beeswax. She had a large woven twine bag with a custom-made flat and light wooden barrel that was just right for honey. Honey tasted sweet and smelled good. It was a precious delicacy for farmers. Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Taotao were very happy. They already had a deep fondness for the sweetness. But Xiao Xian did not allow them to eat too much, because that would ruin their appetite and they would get tired of it easily. She was going to take the honey back, then extract the essences, and store it in a jar for a long time. It would not go bad in this manner and they could eat it for a very long time. Honey was a great thing. If it could be put on the meat while grilling and deep frying, the taste would be excellent in dishes like sweet and sour rib bones. The idea had a lot of appeal to Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Taotao, who were drooling constantly. Xiao Xiaoqi had been to the mountains frequently, but he never dared to touch the honeycomb, nor had he ever gotten any honey. Xiao Xian was asked to teach him how to extract honey. Xiao Taotao was a bit worried about bees, but she was out there to give it a try. Xiao Xian taught them the tricks. She needed someone to look after her bee box, and they could be in charge of this task in the future, if they knew what to do. Anyways, she was going to pay them for it. Apart from seeking honeycombs and getting bees and honey, they spotted a few trees like wild growing ordinary roses, gardenia, osmanthus, which they brought home on the way. It was never easy to fill up the 60mu flower land, especially with ordinary roses and pomegranates, which were the original ingredients for lipstick making. Whenever they found the ordinary roses, Xiao Xian would drive away Xiao Xiaoqi and Xiao Taotao first, and use her superpower to make them grow first. After the whole day in the mountains, the three of them brought home 5 honeycombs, and got 2 barrels of honey as well as 2 bunches of ordinary roses along with some delicious mushrooms and 2 wild roosters which Xiao Xiaoqi managed to capture. They were carrying them with shoulder poles. They ran back and forth 3 times and eventually got all their harvest home. When they finally entered, Xiao Xian came to Xiao Yunduan and smiled. "I am back." These words suddenly made Xiao Yunduan feel assured. He almost felt a bit happy. He could not help but show a look of gentleness and said quietly, "Good that you are back. Did you run into any trouble?" "Of course not, all went well. We were really cautious." Xiao Xian exchanged a few words with him and went to sort out her harvest. Xiao Yunduan smiled, seeing her retreating figure. Then he went back to his studies. The moment they went home, they hid the honey in Xiao Taotao's room. They were never going to let the second and the third sections of the family know about the honey. They were so shameless. Second uncle and third uncle, who failed to take advantage of money from her as wages, asked Xiao Meiling and Xiao Xiaoji to visit the first section every day during the lunch time, because they knew that Xiao Dali was fed there. They were 2 young girls, and it was quite normal that they ate lunch at their uncle's home. So, they were not driven away. Also, eldest uncle got happy when they kept calling him uncle cutely. Ms. Fong rolled her eyes. The 2 girls had been taught in the wrong way. They were asked to take advantage of people and were going to ruin themselves one day. They were going to suffer a lot in the future. Chapter 79. 79 Anger Vent. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 79 Anger Vent. Sure enough, when the honey had just been hidden, Ms. Niu and Ms. Ma arrived, together with Xiao Xiaoji and Xiao Meiling. Ms. Fong shared a rooster with them. Dalong and the other boys have worked very hard these days, and Yunduan has been devoted to studies and he needs to get supplements. You can share one. If you think it is too little, you don't get any. That when they heard work, they glared at Xiao Xian, but when Ms. Fong talked about Xiao Yunduan, the two aunts could not possibly say anything against that. They left with one rooster, annoyedly. She gets back things even less than earlier. Yes, just 2 wild roosters in one day, not good enough to share. Ms. Fong snorted. She had an open mind and did not want to split hairs with these two annoying people. But after her 5th daughter-in-law came to their home, their family situation had been raised compared to before, which made Ms. Fong feel good. Ms. Fong said to Qiao Xian, "Let me tell you, Ms. Qiao, Yang Liang asked someone to pass on the message that they want to see us tomorrow to talk about the wedding gifts. Damn Yang Liang, it serves him right. Your idea worked." Ms. Fong felt quite happy to have vented her anger. Really? Qiao Xian got happy and said, "Then I will go with you tomorrow." Ms. Fong snorted. "Not tomorrow. We don't have to be in a hurry." She should not let that man get what he wanted so easily. Qiao Xian smiled. "Mom, let's just go tomorrow morning. We should not split hairs with people like them. We are going to show our sincerity to the Yang family, right?" Ms. Fong came to her senses. "You are right, let's go tomorrow." She and Qiao Xian had put on a show at the Yang family to display their sincerity. If they slowed down all of a sudden now, the efforts they made earlier would get wasted. Yang Liang passed on the message through a messenger, rather than come to the door personally, because he thought that they would not want to visit him out of anger. But they were not going to fall for the trick made by him. Qiao Xian told Ms. Fong about honey, and Ms. Fong was both surprised and happy. She went into Xiao Taodao's room and had a look at it along with Qiao Xian. She had a small taste of it and her eyes sparkled. "It is a rare thing. You are so lucky as to get so much honey without being stung. Some villagers were bitten all over their faces when they tried to get the honey, including your third brother. You are so lucky. Pharmacies in the town would want to buy things like this, and the price is not low." When Qiao Xian decided to keep the bees, she was going to extract a lot of honey. But she did not care about the honey, except, "When I purify the honey, I will keep it in the jar and sell it in the city." The honey that was newly harvested was full of small things, and it needed to be purified, so was beeswax. That was going to open a road for her in making a fortune. Ms. Fong did not know anything about her plans, so she nodded in agreement to whatever Qiao Xian said. Her daughter-in-law was a noble-born lady, and had vast knowledge about everything. Hence, everything she said should be right. Since it was still early, Qiao Xian went to help with some work in Xiao Taodao's room. The first section of the family was filled with people, and there would be more and more in the future. It wasn't always convenient to do something. Chapter 80. 80 Your Abilities. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 80 Your Abilities. Qiao Xian was thinking about building a new house and was going to make a plan for it. At least, she should have a yard belonging to herself. The rooms should be enough for her to use. Only in this way, she could close the door and stop outsiders from prying. She did not worry about her own family, but the issue was the second section of the family and the third section of the family. The following day after breakfast, Qiao Xian kept Ms. Fong company on the trip to Yang Liang's home in the Yang village. After Yang Xiaoni made a fuss the other day, Ms. Tian got so annoyed that she had a huge fight with Yang Liang as well. She did not want to say anything, but waited until Yang Liang did something himself. Even if Yang Liang didn't cater to her satisfaction, she was going to get involved anyway. Yang Xiaoni came back home the following morning. Ms. Tian could not help but glare at her, sneering. "You shameless bitch, now you have humiliated both of us. You can just leave our home, if you are so brave. How dare you think about marrying someone good, bah." Ms. Tian did not stop nagging her, but Yang Xiaoni ignored her words. She made breakfast, and drank the porridge before going out with farming tools on her shoulders. It was much better to work outside than stay at home. What should we do about her marriage? Should we ask the Xiao family again? Yang Liang was feeling annoyed. Where else could he find someone better than the Xiao family? The Xiao family was the best choice so far. He could not get 100 liang, but 30 or 40 would be enough too. No, Ms. Tian simply did not want Yang Xiaoni to have a good life. Useless person, can't you think about any other method to deal with that bitch? Why must we stick to the Xiao family? Yang Liang was annoyed too. You can go and find one if you want to. Ms. Tian sneered. You pig head. Why can't you just find some rich landlord or a man who has lost their wives or something? They would offer a good price too. Yang Liang was startled and got angry with her. You want my sister to become a concubine, or the widower. Filler. Are you crazy? I am not crazy. Ms. Tian snapped as she shouted at him. She never feared him. Instead, she got even more intimidating as she spoke. Your sister. I don't think she regards you as a brother. Let me tell you, I am sure that when she marries the Xiao family, she will not even take a look at you. You know what Ms. Fong is like, right? If she is a widower. Filler, she can at least understand that she needs her natal family's help in the future. Also, what is so bad about being a concubine of a rich landlord? They have food and servants, and old men know how to take care of the young. She is always going to have a good life there. What is so bad about that? Yang Liang fell into silence. He said hesitantly, you said that if she marries the Xiao family, she will disown us. But I am her brother. Ms. Tian sneered. If she treated you as her brother, she would not have reported anything to those elderly people in the family, and would not have humiliated you. Yang Liang was silent again. He thought for a while and understood that his sister was not very close to him. If she distanced herself from her natal side after she got married, that would not work. He was looking forward to getting help from her in Law's family.